Overnight on the 28th of September last year, 2023, the tree here, the sycamore tree at Sycamore Gap here in Hadrian's Wall, was chopped down. As a result of police inquiries and intense investigations, 2 men were arrested and charged. That's Daniel Graham, aged 38, just from outside Carlisle, and Adam Carruthers, aged 31, from Wigton. They have been charged with criminal damage to the tree valued over £600,000 and Hadrian's Wall valued at about £1,400, and there's going to be a Crown Court trial in Newcastle commencing the 3rd of December. But why is this case so important? Why has it generated so much outrage and upset? Why is the tree worth over £600,000? Why could these 2 lads end up getting a maximum sentence of 10 years? And why is there no photograph of Adam Carruthers? In this video, I'm going to answer all of those questions. Coming up. Welcome back, it's Eddie here from Tyneside Life. Now, if you've been following my channel, you'll know I've done 3 videos covering this particular topic of Sycamore Gap tree being chopped down on the 28th of September, and those 3 videos have attracted more than 500,000 views. That's the level of intense interest there is in this particular case. For the last video, which I'd done about a week to 10 days ago, I actually went to Newcastle Crown Court for their pre-trial hearing for Daniel Graham and Adam Carruthers. Make sure you check those videos out. And I've received hundreds of comments, countless comments across those 3 videos, letting me know how they feel about this, and opinion is well and truly divided. You have 2 big camps, if you like, roughly evenly split. You have one camp of those who are outraged, appalled and angered by the senseless vandalism of this national monument. They want the individuals concerned strung up and to be given the maximum penalty and prison sentence. Then you have the other side, those who are absolutely incredulous as to why this is even a thing. It's just a tree. Why we're wasting all this taxpayers' money? Why don't you just give them a slap on the wrist? We shouldn't even be investigating this. Well, first of all, I just want to answer the question, why is the tree so important? And to help me answer that question, I'm going to speak to Steve, who's the manager of Twice Brewed Inn, about a mile in that direction.
Hi, my name's Steve Blair. I'm the general manager of the Twice Brewed Inn. The Twice Brewed is a big pub situated on the Roman Wall. We're literally about a mile away from the Sycamore Gap area. We're not just a normal pub, we're a hotel as well. We also do stargazing events. We have our own brewery as well on the side, which is the Twice Brewed Brewhouse. So we are quite a big site up here. All of our logos, everything is the Sycamore Gap, because we've been here for just as long as the tree's been there, really. I got notice of it first thing in the morning by one of the staff. Judith rang me, sent me some photos saying the tree's gone. And at first we thought it had blown over, and it was like, oh my God, it's been blown over. Couldn't believe it. And then it came out shortly afterwards that it had actually been cut down, and that was just utter disbelief. Who would do it? Why? We just couldn't understand why. But we was like anger shortly followed. It is just a tree, but it means so much to so many people. We have people who come here and they get proposed to under the tree, they get marriage photographs near the tree, they are like first dates, they've been going there since they were kids and they've taken their kids to it. I even have a gentleman who's spread the ashes of his departed wife there, who feels it's a personal attack on him because the tree actually landed where the ashes were. So excluding what everyone else will think of just a tree, to some people it means more than anything. They get tree lovers, people come up here meditating under it, they believe the spiritual background behind it, the photographs. I think it was the world's most photographed tree, I think back in 2017, Tree of the Year. And of course it's logoed on a lot of businesses around here. So it is very close to everyone's heart who lives around here. People buy houses so they can see it, you know. I've got a staff member who bought a house next door purely because of the area where it is.
Thanks for that, Steve. I think we've got a real sense of the importance of the tree, and that it's arguably not just a tree, it's the tree, which leads me on to the next question as to how come a sycamore tree is valued at over £600,000, because it is. It's an invasive species, it's just a tree, albeit 150 to 200 years old, and we have sycamore trees all over the UK. Well, in order to calculate that as part of the the charge for criminal damage that the lads have received. We have to use what they call a caveat system, and the resulting figure that they come up with is not the value of the tree per se, it's its value as a community asset. So they take wider things into consideration, like it's on National Trust land, it's on a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it's seen as a part of our heritage and culture, a national monument and a symbol, if you like, to some even a temple, where, as Steve has pointed out, people even come to propose marriage and to spread the ashes of their loved ones. Through into that, the potential damages and costs incurred by businesses here locally, but also along the stretch of the wall, because this is a popular national trail, and it could in time affect tourism. That's going to affect the local economy all the way along the line. So all of that brought in together, the value of the tree as a cultural asset is valued at over £600,000.
Hi, my name's Andy. I'm from West Yorkshire, just down the road. I'm staying in a cottage locally, Landmark Trust, which I recommend to anybody. And when I booked it, this tree was here. Sadly, it's been cut down by somebody with issues. It's very sad. My first time here, and obviously the tree means a lot to a lot of people, even if you've never visited. So I really wanted to come and see what was left, and I'm pleased that it's sprouting and there are other shoots elsewhere in the UK, so perhaps a bit of a silver lining.
Next question I want to cover is, how on earth could somebody receive up to 10 years in prison for chopping down a tree? Now, I'm going to be the first to acknowledge our criminal justice system is a mess with the holes in the inconsistencies. For example, the maximum sentence for burglary is 14 years, but you're going to have to be a prolific burglar in order to get a custodial sentence. Now, something else I want to address as well, because this is not the arena to get into the ins and outs of the mess of our criminal justice system, but a lot of people have put comments on as to how could these receive a custodial sentence, possibly if they're guilty, but rapists and child molesters get less. They don't. And without exception, every time I received a comment like that, I've said, well, can you give me an example of that? Give us something that I can look up, the name of the person you're referring to, with the date or place the crime happened. And without exception, nobody has come back with an example.
My name's Stuart. Came up here today to see Vindolander, and obviously to come and have a look at the remains of the tree and to see if the rumours that we'd heard about sprouts were true, new sprouting, which is good. So how do I feel about it? It's difficult not to feel sheer resentment for someone that could think that that was a feasible cause of action. It's disgusting, really. I hope the book's thrown at these people. No matter what their motives are, it doesn't warrant doing something so drastic and so disgusting. So, yeah, let's hope justice is served.
The next question I want to cover is, why don't we have a photograph of Adam Crothers? We've got one of Daniel Graham when he's arrived at court on the last couple of occasions, but there's no photograph of Adam Crothers. All we have is a male in some sort of ski mask, and there's a very simple answer to that, is because in the UK we have the right to walk around with our face covered, and when he did attend court a few months ago, he had that ski mask on. So there are no public photographs of Adam Crothers. Do you remember those two from a couple of years ago, the Just Stop Oil protesters who went into that gallery and threw soup onto the Van Gogh Sunflowers painting from 1888? Thankfully, there was a layer of glass over the top of the painting, but damage up to £10,000 was caused to the frame, and they received 2 years in prison. Remember the M25 blockage by Just Stop Oil? One or two of those, to my recollection, received 5 years in prison. Now, I am all for our right to protest. I am all for some level of civil disruption, but in those specific examples, particularly throwing the soup over the Van Gogh painting, absolutely I support those two individuals getting 2 years in prison, in my opinion, because we can't have individuals in society taking it upon themselves to decide what's right and what's wrong and then commit criminal offences, especially crimes that are of such a unique nature that attack the very fabric in heritage and culture of our society. Now, by way of example, let's give a situation, and I acknowledge it's not an ideal like-for-like comparison, but it does, I think, illustrate the point. Now, let's say you and I fall out and I'm full of bitterness and vengeance. I go away full of malicious intent. I prepare and plan the heinous crime of knocking your house down. Let's not get bogged down in the details of how I do that. I just knock your house down, completely flatten it, and I get away. Unfortunately, I've left a little trail of evidence and the police managed to catch up with us and arrest us and charge us with a criminal damage to your house, valued at around about £200,000, completely destroyed. And I plead not guilty at my hearing. They send me to Crown Court, and then through a trial I'm found guilty by a jury of destroying your house. You would expect me to receive a significant custodial sentence for that. And that's just a £200,000 house, because I've taken this all of the way and I've been found guilty at court through a trial. And it's the same with the Sycamore Gap tree and the wall, the damage that's been caused, the value of over £600,000, the fact that there's been significant aggravating factors which have contributed to this crime, the motive, possibly a malicious motive, the planning, the intent, the preparation, the efforts to evade capture by police, and then being caught and charged and pleading not guilty and having to drag this through the criminal justice system. Under those circumstances, would a crime like this possibly receive a maximum of 10 years? The value, the fact it's unique, the impact on the local and the wider community, the fact it's a national heritage, UNESCO World Heritage Site, and its meaning to people as a monument and a national treasure. All of those things put in could mean that they get a maximum of 10 years. Now, if on the 3rd of December, on the first day of the trial, the two lads, let's just say that they are guilty and they plead guilty, well, that would be taken into consideration, so there would be a lesser sentence. But I do fully expect, whatever happens, that if these lads are found guilty of the crime of criminal damage to this site, they will face a custodial sentence. If they're found guilty by a jury, do I expect 10 years? Probably not, but I do expect a custodial sentence north of 5 years, in my opinion. So I hope that goes some way to answering the questions that you might have had about this particular trial. I know there's going to be some of you out there who are just not convinced whatsoever, and that's absolutely fine. But I think most of you will probably understand why so much time, money, resources, effort and tenacity has gone into investigating this particular unique crime. It's been investigated almost like this is a murder scene. It's been that intense and complex. And I just want to end on the fact that lives matter. Of course, people's lives matter. That's the most important thing. But also, of great importance is our national heritage, our culture and our history, and it needs to be preserved and protected, I believe, at all costs. Of course, we've fought 2 world wars to protect those cultural assets from invading armies, and I just don't think we should be allowing an infestation to eat our country from the inside. But that's just me, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll be attending Crown Court in Newcastle on the 3rd of December to bring you the news as to exactly what's going to happen. And if you don't want to miss out on that video, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll receive an instant notification. Thanks for watching.